Instagram. So if you go
So
there.
yeah, 3, 2, 1, and right now we're live now to the
live
world,
for real.
both on Instagram and
360
YouTube.
live.
I don't know. We're not 360. I don't want
180.
that.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
we're 180. I don't know. Whatever. We're 2D.
out.
We're 2D live on the Instagram.
What's up, Julie
and
Garner?
YouTube.
We're doing a podcast, see, Carrie.
So see, look. So I can actually see from here that Steph made a funny face to us, and then she said, "Hey,
Hi,
now,"
Steph.
because you were clevering up the Patriots thing. See, the delay is gonna kill us on this, but it'll be fun.
The delay.
So those of you join us, we're gonna talk UFC
I'm
226.
very excited.
That's gonna be fun.
Yes.
I'm gonna focus on the two main events, main event, co-main event, and then
But there's some good
the heavyweight.
ones. There's some other good ones.
The whole card is stacked.
Yes, it's a very stacked
The
card.
Fight Pass almost looks better than the prelims, which I don't know if that's intentional because you got to pay for a Fight
It's
Pass.
just so good.
Right.
The
So
whole
I'm
thing.
just like, I looked at the whole thing. It's amazing. So
Yeah.
we're going to talk a little bit of that. And then if we still have time, we'll hit some other things that are going to be fun and some current events and other kind of stuff. So this is going to end quick for you Instagrammers in a hurry. We're going to go onto YouTube Live. We're already YouTube Live, but jump over there. YouTube.com/Jason C. Powell.
Yeah.
And you're there. Easy.
Pretty
Super easy. And if you have a hard time, in my profile, the link is there.
Cool.
So it's easy. We got
Click
it.
on you.
Yeah. So,
I think everybody's pretty tech savvy nowadays.
They got it. They know.
Everybody knows YouTube pretty well.
If
It's
they
pretty
don't,
easy to get around.
then they're going to have some other issues. So before we go there, LeBron is a
LA
Laker.
Lakers.
That's why I'm wearing this shirt, because it's not a Celtic shirt. It's a jiu-jitsu shirt,
But it's green.
but it's green and white.
It's
So
a
my
pretty dope
hope,
shirt, though. I like that.
flow
roll. That's really nice.
So it's my hope is that this coming year, we have 2, maybe 3 consecutive years of Lakers Celtics again in the finals.
No.
I don't think the Lakers are gonna be good enough. I don't see it.
Best thing I heard was now he can lose in the first round to the Golden State Warriors instead of in the finals, which I think is accurate. That's going to be accurate. They'll go to the playoffs with LeBron. They'll
yes.
go because LeBron's an automatic. He automatically elevates his team.
Did you see what Vegas said?
No, I didn't see their.
They
odds.
are the number 2 pick to win the championship this year.
It's ridiculous.
Basically,
That's
what
a
they're
hype-
saying
that's
is
a hype
what they're saying is they're the second best team in the West, because whoever wins the West is going to win the championship.
Yeah, but they won't beat the Rockets. I don't think Rockets still are going to make some moves.
I don't think they're going to beat Golden State either, man.
No, I don't think they beat either team, but because both teams are stacked.
Yeah.
And LeBron's a one-man show. Like if LeBron
Right now,
played
yeah.
the Rockets in the finals,
Yeah.
it would have been a 4-game sweep.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind. So no, but it's interesting. The West is just getting more and more stacked, and the East is.
Not.
You got Boston, and then
Boston and Philly, and
a
that's
bunch of runner-ups.
Yeah.
Really for the East, and I don't think any of maybe Boston. We'll see what kind of moves they make and how much better the young guys get this year, and they get they're uninjured.
Yeah, uninjured, because you remember 2 of their starters were out.
Yeah.
And Kyrie,
That's a big guy to be losing. That's
one
a
of the
big deal.
top 5 to
Easy.
6 players
Easy.
in the NBA, and he's out the whole season, and you still make it to the Game 7 of
Yes.
the conference finals.
So we'll see. They'll this year a tough team, but man, I mean, Golden State and the Rockets are pretty stacked. That's if CP3 can keep his hamstring from. Got anything interesting going on?
No, that's what I was trying to peek.
Nah, the fight between Australia and Philippines in a basketball last night. No, I didn't see it. Is there any good
Basketball.
I don't know. It must have been an international basketball. I don't watch international
I'm not worried
basketball.
about that. I'm following the World Cup a little bit.
Ah, man, I've missed
A little bit.
everything in the World Cup.
And a little bit's hard because the games are at 9 and 11 in the morning, and stuff like that. So it's a little difficult, but following that some, and I'm enjoying it.
I've always loved the World Cup. I was a little down because U.S. didn't qualify,
Yeah, but
and then my team Germany ousted in the first round.
so you were upset when my South Korean team
I was
shocked
upset
the
when
world.
they lost to Mexico in the first game,
that was a shocker.
but it wasn't the end of the world because Mexico's a very good team.
Yeah,
But then after that, everything was just
and most of those guys are the Bundesliga guys. So those, if you ever
Yeah,
watch it, anybody that
but-
ever watches, football, that's like high paced, high scoring.
Bundesliga is
league.
probably the next to me where you got like Premier League and I don't keep up
Yeah.
enough
Well-
with international soccer, but it's definitely one of the top 2 or 3 leagues.
top 2, yeah, easy.
in the world.
Premier
So,
League is great, but it's kind of high skill and technical. And the Bundesliga is just
Yeah.
fly, man. I mean,
Yeah.
they go.
Well,
it's fun.
they someone told me, and like I said, I don't usually don't follow till the World Cup pops up, that they were not the same team this year that they've been in the past, which was very obvious, I guess, with that.
They had 35-40% less shots on goal. Less shots on goal. I mean, screw goals, but less shots on goal as compared to the last
unusual for
World
them.
Cup. Yeah.
That's really unusual.
Something was going on.
Yeah. I don't know. Trust me, they'll fix it. The German machine will be back.
Yeah, they'll get it.
I'm not even worried
so
about
here's
that.
a little hook sinker for the people watching right now, right? So we're about to talk Stipe and DC. I got notes, everyone. And I got notes.
He did research.
I did a little. Well, you got to. I don't want to be like, oh crap, I can't remember. Because you know, what I mean, we screw up. We're all human. Ortega Holloway.
Oh, very excited
big fight.
about that fight.
Yeah, and then another one I followed up a lot just because he's our local guy.
Derek Lewis.
Yeah, so Derek Lewis is
fighting an animal. Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, Ngannou is gonna. We'll see. But we're about to hit that, so we're about to start talking on that.
Okay.
And so you guys on Instagram, jump over youtube.com/Jason C. Powell. It's already up. It's already live. All this is there. So we're gonna shut these down and jump over, man.
I guess.
So see you guys over there.
Peace.
Peace.
See you
Thank you.
shortly.
Yes.
In that live video.
And you don't have to do all that. You can save it if you want to look at it later. But
boom.
And then if you want to jump up and do the same thing on that one, just in the top right it says end. We hit it just one, and then in live video, and then it's done. You can leave that there. Yep, leave it as is.
So where we at?
So we're good.
All right,
I'm gonna slide over just a smidget now because I was trying to sneak over into your camera there a little bit.
You need a neck crank.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Well, maybe tonight. You know, it doesn't hit until you go to sleep.
Yeah, until you sleep wrong.
So the fan last time did not disrupt us.
I noticed that. I didn't hear it at all.
Shocked.
I checked.
But to be safe, I put the little fan over there to hit you.
I don't mind that
and the little one over here.
It's kind of coming up. I'm wearing shorts. So it's kind of coming up.
Yeah, you know.
Nice angle.
Yes, keep things breezy.
It just feels very breezy. I like it. I should have gone commando. It would have been really nice.
Oh, see? Then the dog would have been like all up your ass, literally. That,
Well, she's a sweetie. Yeah. I wouldn't mind.
Nah, and really, it's more of like sniff, sniff, jump, and then she doesn't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, and she's taking a nap.
Yeah, she's good. So, 226, man.
All right. So where do we start? Where do we start? Let's start with Ngannou and Derek Lewis.
Derek Lewis. See, okay,
we'll build up to the.
So what I did, I on some of my notes really is I'm pretty familiar with all of them anyway. But I went on some of their fights. So I went 4 to 6 fights back, if that makes sense, on all the deal.
Yeah.
And when they were and how they won or lost and so on and so forth. And Ngannou, I mean, his only loss, relevant loss, is Stipe.
Yeah.
Which was a decision.
Yeah.
And he and Stipe have fought a lot of the same people from 2015 to now. Okay, a lot of the same similar fighters. Not at the same. I mean, obviously 6 months to a year in between each one and all that, right? But they have very similar results with all of them. Either knockouts or TKOs and submissions and the whole thing. And I'm like, well, shit, they're fighting the same guys in the same calendar year, roughly, and they're finishing them in a similar way. And then I'm like, he's gonna fight Lewis. And this is what I feel like with Lewis. Okay, he's had a couple of good wins, right? But I feel like he absorbs, gets that one right hook in, and then finishes it.
Yeah, I don't think
it's for me. It's ugly to watch.
A little bit. I've underestimated Lewis, probably too much.
I have every fight.
Yeah, but he wins.
But he keeps winning.
He makes it happen.
Yeah.
And so maybe I'm being for some reason I'm not giving him his due. And but
okay, so Ngannou has now since all of 2016 to current, he has one submission. Everything else is KO and TKO. and that's the nature of the heavyweights too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you took all of it's not.
And he's new to fighting in general.
Yeah.
He's not like got a background in anything before he just walked into an MMA gym and scared the shit out of all the coaches.
And he did. He's aggressive as shit. But Derek Lewis, if you could classify somebody as a negative ground game, I would put Lewis in that category.
I don't know.
He didn't like to be there.
Yeah, I don't think the Ngannou was any different though. I think these guys. I saw that fight and I thought, man, okay, there's no way. I say this and it'll happen. There's no way someone's not getting knocked out or finished. I don't see how. Like these guys, both these guys live off of finishing guys. Like they don't.
Yes.
They rarely go distance. It's not a normal thing.
They rarely go the distance, right? So in all of 2016 to current, okay, that's pretty much everybody. I didn't go into 2015 with anyone just because in the world of fighting, when you get that many years back, it's already
that's a long time.
toast. I was even like 2016, but
right.
So I did. Both of them only have one decision each.
Right.
Okay.
Makes sense.
And the one decision with Ngannou was
Stipe.
Stipe. And then the one with Lewis was back in the middle of 2016 with Roy Nelson.
And he lost that fight, right? Or did he win that
He
fight?
was split decision. He won split decision.
Against Roy Nelson? Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good win.
And that's a good win. And I'm looking through, and that's kind of and Lewis 2 fights ago, a year ago now, lost to Mark Hunt.
Yes.
And
which is understandable.
It was a 5-rounder because it was a main event. He lost in the 4th round, late in the 4th round. I reviewed it a little bit. He was just exhausted.
Did Hunt come back? He tested positive on that fight?
I think he did, but it did not wind up being a no contest. His no contest was 2015.
Okay.
I don't remember who he was fighting, but yeah.
Yeah, I remember there was an issue. I don't know. I think I agree with you on that there's maybe a cardio issue. But that's big guys, right?
That's
there's not that
many
many that go the championship rounds. It gets sloppy.
And do this. So here's Ngannou, right? The decision, right? And then his previous 4 fights, all first round.
Yeah, well, he was knocking everybody out.
And just and the one, when you see the rounds, it kind of kept going. And there was 1 or 2 twos, but most of them was 1-1.
No, I am definitely in the category of Ngannou on this fight. I'm definitely in that category. But it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun fight.
Yeah.
Because Derek Lewis he's an animal. He's not going to back down.
No, he's not.
He's gonna go after him too.
And
he feels very confident in his ability to knock people out and to finish people.
He is probably has one of the heaviest right crosses in the game.
Yeah.
Period. I don't care who you are, like it or
Yeah.
not. And if he lands it, you may not go down initially, but you're getting dizzied.
Yeah.
Your game is screwed at that point if he connects.
Yeah. This is a very exciting fight. Like this is a really exciting fight. This could headline some cards.
Yeah.
Because it's so exciting.
Yeah.
I don't expect it to go long, but it's going to be 2 guys really slugging it out.
And Ngannou wants to destroy him because he wants a title shot.
Well, I think he wants to destroy everybody.
Yeah, but I think this one he's like.
But Derek Lewis, man, this could be a title shot for him too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If he does it.
He's been wanting that. He's been hunting, and Derek Lewis has more experience. He's had more fights.
Yes.
He's been in the game longer.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for that. Like there's something to be said for when you start becoming a little bit more of a veteran fighter, and you get those rounds in your pocket. Ngannou hasn't had that many rounds in his pocket. Not really.
No. He's had a lot of fights, but not many rounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's used to just knocking people out. Like, cause he's a freak of nature physically. He is a freak.
He's built for fighting.
He's built for destruction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like he's like a freak superhero, or worse, like I can't even think of it. Like he's like Hulk's nemesis is what he looks like to me. He's a scary looking dude. Derek Lewis is definitely a more experienced fighter. So there is going to be something, I think, to say for that.
Yeah.
That's going to account for something, and that can extend the fight. And look, it's not impossible for Derek Lewis to win the fight,
Right. Derek Lewis has been, more often than not, he's in the 3rd and 4th round of everything.
Yeah.
And even though he's avoiding those decisions, he's finishing crap if it's a 3-round fight at the end of the, in the second half of the last round.
Yeah.
So I'm like, he gets winded, dude. And it's obvious when he's winded.
But it's big guys.
Still knocking people out.
I think it's big guys, though.
Yeah.
Not many of them go distance very well.
Yeah.
There's just not many of them do. If you watch the big guy fights a lot of times, you start to see him getting sloppy in the 4th. That's when it starts to happen.
Yeah, and that's your guard gets down a little bit, and that right.
Yes,
Lewis is
true.
right.
It could either guy.
Tired or not, that's just going to knock you out.
Yeah.
Holy
But
crap.
I like Francis in that fight. And a lot of times I'm like, I can't. He's such a beast.
Yeah.
And he wants another shot at Stipe.
Yeah.
For
bad.
sure. Because in his mind, he's like, yeah, okay, that was one. Now I've done that. Now I'm ready to come back.
This is what I feel like. If no matter if Stipe wins or loses, if Ngannou comes through and kicks ass like I think he's going to, I think he wants Stipe either way, even if DC has the title.
So let me ask you about that. So DC's fighting. So he could hold 2 titles. This is not a catchweight fight. This is not a like super fight.
No.
This is a for the title shot for DC.
Yes.
Man, this says a lot about Stipe to give it to him.
I know.
Although I don't know how much control he has over giving it to him, but
yeah,
he has some. I'm sure he has some say.
Well, okay, do it like this. DC, take Bones Jones out. DC has obliterated the light heavyweights. Mm-hmm. He's beat everybody.
The only thing weird about that is that he can take Stipe's belt, but Stipe can't take his belt.
Well, because Stipe's a heavyweight.
I know, but it's a weird. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
There's everything's on the line for Stipe. Nothing's on the line for DC. DC, if he loses, but you lost to. He's a weight class above you.
Yeah.
And you still have your title.
Yeah.
If Stipe loses, he loses his title. If he wins, he gains nothing. Okay. Other than a victory over DC, which is a big deal.
I don't think this is the case, but I'm gonna put it out there because a few people messaged me this. Okay.
Okay.
Politics. Okay, so the golden boy of the UFC was McGregor. Mm-hmm. McGregor went and fucked it all up. He's not the golden boy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not the golden boy.
He did.
He doesn't hold those belts anymore.
Right.
All that kind of bullshit that went along with it, right? They need another golden boy.
So you're talking about DC being the golden boy?
So DC, the golden boy.
I mean, he's not a bad choice.
He's a good guy in quotations.
He's
right?
well liked.
He's well liked. He's well spoken. He's an analyst. He decimated the light heavyweight again, minus Jones, right? Who tested positive and all the other kind of business. So excluding that one person, he's destroyed everyone.
Right.
Now he's moving up. I think he's a natural heavyweight.
Well, yeah. I mean,
clearly, he's a bigger dude. But he's a muscular dude. Let's not lie.
He's built in that. Look, he doesn't have the prototypical V build or whatever, but he's just in that body category that he is. He's still a superior athlete. It's just that's his body type.
Right.
Not everybody looks like Captain America. That's super athlete. That's not how it works.
Especially in the heavyweights.
Yeah, it's not how it works. You know, it's different body types. But man, that's a very interesting theory, and I think there's maybe some validity because you know what, the UFC needs some golden boys. They need some guys that I think that's why they're so desperate to have GSP back.
Yeah. That turned out well for him.
So far, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
If he gets the fights he wants. I think he can kind of call a shot whatever fight he wants.
Of course, yeah. It's not like he wants stupid fights. I mean, he wants
legit good fights. So they'll serve him those fights up. Yeah. And I think anybody would be stupid not to fight him for that's good for them as well.
Triple your money and triple the notoriety if you win.
Your name. If you win, you beat GSP.
Yeah.
If you lose, well, you lost to GSP.
Exactly. Yeah. It's no biggie.
So it's not the end of the world. It doesn't kill you. But man, that's an interesting theory. I like that theory.
Yeah, because I'm just saying, if you're UFC and you had your pick of who's there now, right? Of all the guys that are there now, man, he's kind of an all-American type dude, and he fits all of the things.
Yeah,
you could throw him out into almost any arena and he's going to do well. You throw him to a high-dollar gala, he's going to do well. You put him out in front of the news media, he's going to do well.
Yep.
You catch him on the street and talk to somebody, he's going to speak well.
Yep.
He talks some shit, but it's kind of like,
which is
fun and light. I don't,
sorta,
like it's not.
Depends on who it's with.
Yeah,
he can get a little dirty with.
It gets a little dirty, but it doesn't feel the same as like when McGregor and.
No, they're professional shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're unbelievable. I think it's pretty interesting. The one thing about DC that's been kind of funny though is that I think when John Jones was still running around, and then he may come back, but everybody liked John Jones better than DC. DC was the one that would get booed.
Yeah.
DC, which was weird because DC's a good dude, and he's like like the guys in the UFC like him.
Yeah.
He's well liked. And
I think the boos come from, and I'm saying this off the cuff, right? I think the boos come from people who really understand MMA and jiu-jitsu and the world of fighting, competitive fighting.
Yeah.
Jones is an anomaly, man. He was just
he's a freak of nature.
Born to fight. It's effortless. It's fluid. You're like, before him is Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
And GSP and those guys.
Yeah.
But those guys had to, not that Jones didn't work. Those guys I felt like they were working in the ring. Like they were working to make something happen. Jones is just kind of like, cool, man. What this, boom, it's done. You're like,
it looked effortless to him, right?
Do you even try?
There was maybe a couple fights where he got pushed.
Yeah.
Alexander Gustafsson fight, which was, I don't know. Some people said maybe Gustafsson might have won that fight, but it was close enough that it was a really good fight.
But not many.
I can't really think of any others offhand where he was.
No,
really
well, I mean,
pushed.
the first time with DC, they went to decision.
Yeah, but I don't remember him being in question.
No,
you know what I mean.
DC got a few slips and a few things on him.
DC's gonna get. He's a good fighter. He's gonna catch some stuff. But Jones is that guy that so frustrating. Because so good. Yeah. And then just.
And I think that's mine. I think that's where those boos come from. Yeah. Is that. Not that MMA and UFC have been around long enough to say there's purists. Yeah. But it's that type of group that I think is booing DC.
Well, if he becomes the next Golden Boy, the next poster child for the UFC, which is possible. Yeah. Holding 2 belts. You know, I don't know. It'd be interesting. I mean, because Jones can still come back, right? Like they're still.
Yes. It was. I think it was a 2-year.
Is it 2 year? Because I've not heard. I know it wasn't 4.
I could be wrong with that. I think it was
a
2-year
ban.
Or
maybe it's 2. So he's probably going to come back. I think he's probably going to come back.
Be silly not to.
And we'll see if he still has it, because time. You never know with time, and you never know with stuff like this what's going to happen. Right. But if he still has it, it'd be really interesting to see him come back. Yeah. And here's DC. He's the golden boy of the UFC. He's riding high.
Super fight.
He let go of the light heavyweight, went up to heavyweight. He's running heavyweight. They set up a super fight between John Jones and DC. Yeah. I don't know how they, however they decide to set it up, man, that would be a huge.
That's crazy. See, this is why we need somebody like over there
looking up stats,
pulling this stuff up, and be like, okay, well, Jones is due back
this time.
At the end,
that would
at
be
the end of this year or whatever it is, and
cool.
Like trying to figure all that out.
We definitely need a dude over there doing
that. We'll get that somewhere. Interns, hey, hit us.
We need a stat geek.
Yeah, exactly. We need that. So, kind of going back, because I don't want to get into the DC fight, but you're picking Ngannou. I'm picking Ngannou.
Absolutely.
What do you say?
On DC Stipe?
No. Ngannou. When do you think it's going to go in?
Third.
You think it's going to 3?
I think he finishes him in the third. I think Derek Lewis is tough. I think his veteran wildiness is going to keep him through those first couple rounds. And then by I think the third, it's over. I think that's when that, that's that you're starting to get into tough rounds, and now it's gonna happen. You're gonna slip. You're gonna make that mistake that's gonna get capitalized.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that towards the end of the first round, Ngannou by submission.
Yeah, submission.
Watch.
Get the fuck out of here. What is he gonna submit him with?
What? It's gonna be something stupid.
Body crank.
He's
gonna pick him up.
Yeah,
and
it's
break
gonna be an ankle
spine.
lock, or it's gonna be an arm. It's gonna be something.
What if he hits him? What if he hits him with a twister?
Lewis is too big, dude. You can't.
No. Yeah, but Zagano's big, man. He just takes it off, wraps it around, brings it over. Anything's possible. What if he hits him with a Imanari roll right into a heel hook? I was trying to do that Imanari roll the other day training.
I think if he did that, he might break his entire rib cage through that roll.
Oh, I don't know. I tell you, I was trying to do an Imanari roll the other day. And so I'm 44. Yeah. Those rolls, those moves don't quite come to me as easily as just the good old fashioned smash and pass. Yeah. But I was playing around, and I could get to where I could grab the leg and swing through and start to bring my leg up, and then it just all fell apart. I'm gonna keep working on it though. But thank God my partner was just like looking at me like, what is this?
Oh,
I don't know. I'm trying some stuff. That's all. That's what this is for, right? We're trying stuff. But no, man, first round submission. So if it would have to be some type of like crank or like a guillotine, or if he somehow got his back and accidentally properly applied a rear naked choke. Although he's so big with his arms, he just has to halfway wrap his arm around and squeeze.
I don't think he's got to get under the chin.
Shit, no.
I don't think he does. I mean, I don't think he does.
Hell no.
Obviously that helps.
But his arms. Have you seen the size? Yeah. Those look like those robot. Those look like something out of a movie, out of like Pacific Rim. where you got like the jackhammer arm. That's what he looks so scary to me.
Well, his elbow is not that much smaller than his forearm and his bicep.
It's so crazy
that it's just so like. I think if anyone in the world tried to put a traditional armbar on him, he would just
it'd
laugh.
be a joke. I think he'd laugh
What
if
are you doing?
anybody would try to put a rear naked choke on him.
Oh yeah,
he would just be like, "What is that?"
Why?
He's not a normal human being. I mean, he's a scary person.
I'm gonna make.
I hope he's a really nice guy.
He seems to be.
I hope so.
And stuff.
Usually those guys are the nicest because
Yeah.
they can be. But man, I hope so. Could you imagine if he was pissed at you?
Ooh,
Dude, I
would not want him to.
Holy crap. Because I bet you can't outrun his ass either. He looks like a super athlete. He probably runs like a 4.240.
I gotta tell you something. When do you
4-minute mile.
Third round, what? KO TKO?
I see, yeah, third round KO TKO.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
my
gonna make little.
We're gonna see what happens.
Just to see what happens. It'll be fun for us.
Yeah, it is fun. I like
Yeah.
that.
So so I got a quick plus. Sorry, everybody. We'll get back to this. I got to do this. I just watched a video. A buddy of mine had done something a year or so ago with Discovery TV. I think it was Discovery. One of those, right?
Right.
We just go out on the streets and you find 3 or 4 people and it's a little fitness test.
Oh yeah.
And they say basically he goes out and he's like, "How many push-ups do you think you can do? How many sit-ups do you think you can do? Traditional sit-ups, not crunches. And then how fast do you think you could run the 40?"
Right.
And then they get them to do it all.
That sounds like fun.
I mean, it was kind of cute
Just
and
to
fun,
watch.
and it really wasn't. The people weren't that far off of the, like somebody would say, "Oh, I can do 20 push-ups," and they'd get like 10 or 12. I mean, it wasn't horrible.
Mm-hmm.
These people in the 40, nobody got under 14 seconds.
In a 40?
I'm sorry, 12 seconds, 14 seconds, 20 seconds, and
Wait, in a 40-yard dash?
40-yard dash.
How slow are you running?
I was watching, and I mean, it was on the video. They showed it, and I'm like, what? I still can't comprehend that right now.
I'm pretty sure I can crack 8 seconds.
I was like, I can walk it in 20 seconds.
It seems like it. Like
Feel
speed
like
walk it.
Yeah. And now running it, I mean, I'm going to start putting times up because then now people get stupid with that stuff. I still currently hold the record on a board at University of Texas with athletes for speed.
That's pretty
On the
awesome.
40. On the laser.
That's
not a hand.
Hey, that's freaking
The first
awesome.
time I did it was hand because lasers weren't big and I'm old now. So but I did it on laser.
Yeah.
This was actually, it was a few years ago, right? So, I mean, but still it's on the
That's
record
pretty
board up there.
awesome. Well, hey, so, all right. I got something that's a little connected to that.
Yeah.
So my mom, I moved her down here, right?
Yeah.
So we moved her into an assisted living facility, but it's a really, really nice one. Trust me, I was very paranoid about this. I've been around this. It's very nice. It's really nice. It's very expensive. We're all pitching in. But so anyway, I'm up there every day visiting mom. And hi, mom, if you're listening. She loves to. She's all internet savvy and stuff. So anyway, what I noticed is, so a lot of the older people, well, they're all older people. They're in wheelchairs, but they're not in wheelchairs because their legs don't work. They're in wheelchairs, I guess, out of convenience. So what they do is they don't push like with their hands. They just walk in wheelchairs.
Oh, that's
so they have their
hilarious.
feet and they're just walking everywhere while sitting in a wheelchair. And I never noticed this before, and I was like telling my brother the other day, who's legitimately in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
We were watching. I was like, man, that's so weird. Like that. Why not just? But they have different levels of walking. They have walking normal, sort of, which is my mom. She's fully functional. Then you have the walkers,
yeah.
and then you got the wheelchair walkers. So my brother and I were talking about what if we did like some type of Olympics up here, where you had like the walking 40-yard dash. Because it's funny you brought this up because we were literally talking, the walking 40. You could have the people, the walkers doing the 40, and then you can have the wheelchair 40 as one of your different categories.
That would be hilarious, yeah.
And I don't know, but it's really interesting to see like shooting around everywhere like that. I'm sure I'll be that guy when I'm that old. I won't care anymore.
It's sometimes, and this is going back to dealing with some of the elders that I've dealt with. I think it's like their way to throw their finger or snub their nose at shit. It's like, because it's like there's so many. Now there's some that are probably would have a hard time walking that do that.
Yeah,
but there's a good number of them that I'm pretty sure can still jog.
Oh yeah, I think it's fuck life.
Yeah,
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I've walked this earth for 80 years or 70 fucking years. I'm not doing it anymore.
No.
Fuck it. Give me a wheelchair. I'll do the wheelchair walk.
Damn straight.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's funny, you'll see them next to each other. And it almost looks like they're racing. Like,
or
maybe they're going to the same spot. I wonder if
Yeah.
they have races. I wonder if, like, if they see Betty walking and she's like, oh, she's not beating me to the cafeteria today.
Yeah.
Or to the dining room today.
She's going to get
She's going to get served first because, it's first come, first served. So I wonder if they start, like,
pedaling they
faster.
do.
And then some asshole comes by in like, a walker a little faster. Like, yeah, bitches.
Yeah.
You wonder, right?
Oh, I bet they're nasty with each other sometimes, too, with that.
I don't know.
Who's
I'm gonna ask my mom. I asked my mom about, like, hey, what's like the guys. So the other thing, if this makes me nervous because I'm watching the guys there because I've heard that with the advent of Viagra and some of these special supplements that people be getting freaky in the
I've heard that
these
for
facilities
years, yes.
and like real like where it's bad, and so I got my eye on some guys because I see some guys that they got that look. And because we know the look, you see certain guys, that's the guy that is,
especially if you're older, because it's delayed. Like if you get caught in that look, it takes a little longer to get out of the look.
Well, like we all know the guys. That's the old term. Yeah, he's heading over to fuck your bitch. Everybody knows those guys. Yeah. And I've seen a couple of them there, and I'm watching like, man, I better not catch on near my mom's room. I will not be happy.
But so, I don't know, way off subject. I mean, they say that although in men as things don't work as well, right? The desire is just as strong in their 70s and early 80s as it was, So now with the advent of those drugs,
it's everything's working now.
And everything works along with the desire.
Take a pill. Yeah. Opens up the blood flow.
Yeah. Holy.
I don't know, but I don't know. It's been an interesting experience having my mom there and going up there and getting kind of to know some of the people around, and it's very interesting. I know that was a little off topic, but you brought up the special Olympics thing, and it just reminded me of what my brother and I were talking about just the other day, and it's interesting.
We don't have rules here.
No, of course not. Hell no.
Yeah. Okay, co-main event.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Holloway, who is 19-3, okay, versus
my boy
Ortega, who is 14-0 with one no contest. Yeah,
my boy.
I don't know when the no contest was.
I don't remember either.
It was 2014 or 15.
Yeah,
somebody got.
I remember the fight actually. I just don't. I can't recall who it was against, but I do remember.
It was like Diego Alvarez or somebody.
Maybe it was early.
Yeah, it was 2015 or 14.
I think Ortega got busted. I think it was Ortega that actually got busted. If I remember.
Oh,
correctly.
was it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'll have to look.
I'm pretty sure. And whatever. Things are going well for him now, and Ortega is my boy. I'm telling you, I'm taking him to the bank. I'm taking him by submission. And I'll tell you why, because Max Holloway.
I'm going to write this down, but win.
Oh, Ortega wins. And he's going to win in the 5th round. It's going to be a 5th round submission.
All right.
He's going to catch him with a, if it's a 5th round submission, it's going to be a rear naked choke. He's famous for his triangles. Yeah. That's why it goes by T-City. But, you get so slippery later in the blood, and plus your energy levels. Yeah. Like, triangles take a lot of energy to hit. Like, you got to get everything just right, synced in. And if you're tired, it's harder to hit. Yeah. It's harder to get it. It becomes easier for the other guy to escape it. So, my goat, I'm saying 5th round rear naked choke. And I'm calling it because I think that's where his ground game is so good. And I think people don't even realize how good it is yet.
I think they're learning quick.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody knows his jiu-jitsu is good. Everybody knows he trains under Henner, and that's his boy. But I'm telling you,
so if he gets that rear naked choke late, I think the only way he does it, he's got to be on top.
Yeah. I think that's what's going to happen. I think
he's going to have his body weight.
I think it's going to happen in late rounds. It's going to be takedowns. It's going to be getting on top. It's going to be dominating, forcing Holloway to make it to turn, to do a turn into turtle or something like that, or he's going to catch a technical mount and pull it over. It's going to be where Holloway's tired and he's a little bit. I think he's a little physically bigger. Holloway's longer, but I think Ortega's a little bit of a heavier, bigger guy, and I think that's where that weight and that knowledge of ground is going to, and his jiu-jitsu is going to cause that mistake. It's going to force that mistake that's going to give him the finish.
So be very clear. I desire Ortega to win. I don't think he's going to.
Okay.
I watched a boatload of tape on this crap.
Okay.
I'm gonna call Holloway's gonna win.
Okay.
KO TKO in the third with a knee.
Maybe he's got some nasty knees.
What I was watching with Ortega on his takedowns is they are so consistent with how he shoots.
Right.
He shoots one way, and if you shoot one way against somebody who's the top of their game, they're gonna get that knee on the top of your head.
Yeah, I agree.
And really, if you're committed to the shoot and you take that knee, and even if the knee's only 50%, you're in a heap of trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point. The only thing I would say is that shooting is not the only way to get someone to the ground.
Oh, absolutely not. No.
So if hopefully, and they're smart guys in both camps.
Oh yeah.
But hopefully there's going to be if you're noticing that, then for certain Ortega's camp is noticing, hey, we got to change this up because he's going to time this and knee you right in the freaking head. So I don't know. You may be right.
I mean, it could be, and that's my concern with Holloway is this: is he just fought Aldo twice, right, and then Pettis before that. All those 3 fights, I know 2 are the same guy, obviously, so this sounds silly when I say this, but those 3 fights, his opponent is almost identical. So you tend to unintentionally develop patterns and systems and things to fight the same, in quotations, the same person time and time again.
Yeah.
So now you're going back to in the octagon. I don't know when his 4th one was back. Middle of 2016 was the last time he fought somebody who wasn't like his recent guy. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Who's Holloway's main trainer?
I just saw it. I suck so bad with names, man. I just watched the stupid video.
Because that can make a big difference in how they approach.
Yeah. He hasn't changed anyone in his camp.
Right. So I just wonder, because I wonder how they're going to approach it. Like, how is he going to come through with the? Are they going to kind of clean the slate as best as you can? You can't. I mean, once a fighter has this, a fighter is who he is. Yeah. You can't really change that. But I wonder how they're going to evolve for Ortega, because I think Ortega is a very different fighter from Pettis, and I think he's a different fighter, definitely from Aldo. Yeah. Like those are different styles.
He's stronger. He's a little more aggressive. He's a little more of a forward pusher. He's
just bigger. Yeah. I think he's just different. Yeah. And it's gonna be interesting to see how they approach it. I think it's gonna be a great fight. Yes. I really think it's gonna be a great fight. It's gonna be. They're young. They're both aggressive. It's gonna be very exciting. So.
Rounds 2 on will be really fun. I think the first round's gonna be
probably feeling that because you got 5 rounds.
You got 5, and if you blow your wad in the first round, you
better
screwed.
Win.
Yeah, you
better win, or guess what? You got 4 rounds of hell coming.
And both of us could be polar opposite, wrong with everything. I just think, I think Ortega's going to do everything he can to get it to the ground. Yes. And I think Holloway's going to do everything he can to make it a distance fight.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% there.
I think it's like a 4-inch, 3.5-inch difference.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I think Holloway's longer for sure.
Yeah, he is. It was significant enough that he could play.
Well, he's longer than almost everybody he fights because the way he's built. Yeah. But man, maybe I'm being a little too biased.
And Vegas is right on it, man. It's basically a pick 'em.
Yeah.
So I mean that's.
Yeah, it's exciting. Do we pick what round DC and Stipe go to?
Well, we're not there yet.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know if we were.
We were kind of getting on DC, but it was a little bit more.
We went to the old folks home for a minute.
Yeah, we jumped around.
Yeah, I got lost.
So I mean, I'm gonna say, although I do not want him to win, I think Holloway's gonna win. He's gonna catch him on one of those knees.
Could be. I mean, I think if Holloway wins, it's through a TKO or KO.
And now, I mean, if he catches him with a knee, that could turn into a submission and all that. I mean, let's be real with all that stuff.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
Anything can happen in a fight. You're right.
If he catches him with the knee, it's gonna dizzy him enough that's the end of the fight. Yeah. You could finish it with a couple punches. You could finish it with
Holloway's ground game's no joke. Holloway has a legit ground game.
Yeah, and that's what I was like. We'll see. Yeah. But I want Ortega to win.
I'm feeling it.
I think he's got potential to be one of the greats.
I do too. I think if you're talking about poster boys coming up, he's still a little early, but man, could you imagine a better poster boy? And what a complete 180, a complete different type of personality and fighter than you have from Conor McGregor. Mm-hmm. Someone like Brian Ortega, he's he's just a polar opposite from Conor McGregor. He's humble, he's well spoken. He's not that Conor McGregor's not well spoken, but he's not flinging explicatives and fuck you, fuck that, fuck this. He is very, he's just a nice guy that's out there doing charity work and
Yeah.
playing with kids on the side, and you know.
Well, tell me this. Okay, so this is his 16th fight. Okay.
Pro fight.
Pro fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously that's
nice
when I said it. Yeah. So his official pro record is this will be his 16th fight. My concern is that if he loses now, it's too detrimental for him to, like, it's going to take him 2 to 3 years to get back to where he is now if he loses this one.
Well, he's in that division that's stacked.
Yeah,
There's a
that's
lot
what
of-
I mean. Yeah.
So you have to work your way. It depends on, I think, how he loses,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
We go to a split decision, and it's
Yeah.
one of those things where, crap, it's so close, they just automatic rematch, right?
Yeah.
Fuck, Ortega won that fight, you know, and
Yeah.
rematch.
We know how
round
that goes,
two,
right? Yeah.
Or it's pretty close, but you know, Holloway wins it, and so he has to go back a couple fighters. So maybe he's got 2 fights to get back up there.
Yeah.
You know, it depends. But if he gets knocked out,
Yeah.
then you're talking. He's gonna drop, and it's gonna take him a little while to catch back up. He's still really young. I don't think he's. How did you look up how old he's still young? He's got to be mid-20s,
I want to say it was 24, but
something like that.
I looked at so many stats. So
he's got to be mid, to, you know, like 24, 26, 27ish,
Yeah.
right? So he's not really even in his prime yet, as
Correct.
far as fighters go.
Right. So he's got the time to come back. I just
Yeah.
hate to see. I mean, I'm with a lot of the guys that the ranking system's bullshit. I hate it.
That's a weird.
I fucking hate the ranking system.
I don't know why they did that. I mean, I guess it makes it more interesting.
It
but-
sells matches
Yeah,
to people
'cause
who.
you're saying, hey, this is the third ranked guy,
Yeah.
but who's doing the rankings?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't
In
even know
this
who's doing
sport,
the rankings.
yeah, in this, I don't know who's doing it.
UFC's doing the rankings, right?
They
I
got to
think
be,
they are.
but I mean, I don't know if they have a
They're
committee. Or
matchmakers?
this, yeah.
Or matchmakers are making
I'm
the
just
rankings.
like,
maybe.
in this sport, it's bullshit. Because if you get caught with a haymaker, right, which we see a lot, is a significant time guys lose on these blind haymakers that just kind of connect because, you know, freaking planets align, right? And if you threw that 1,000 times, it hits once.
Right.
If you get hit with one of those and you lose, you are not a worse fighter.
Yeah, and there's also matchup issues.
Yeah.
Just because the number 2 fighter beats the number 1 fighter, right? But the number 2 fighter can't beat that number 10 fighter,
Right.
when they fight because
Right.
the matchups it's just not a good matchup
Right.
for them. So it makes the rankings weird. But maybe the number 10 fighter can't beat the 5, 6, or 7 fighter.
Right.
But he could beat the number 2 fighter, who's now the number 1 fighter all day long. So who's really the champion? You know what I mean? It's the ranking system's a weird thing. I get why they did
do
it.
this. Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva. Sonnen is not a good fighter, but he had
I would
numbers
say
and
I
matchup.
wouldn't say he's not a good fighter.
Well, he's a good fighter. You know, he's not.
he's a solid
Right.
he's a solid fighter, not an elite fighter.
Right.
Right.
But he had Anderson Silva's number.
I think it was 2 things. I think he got inside Anderson's head a little bit, which it's kind of hard to do, but he did.
Yeah.
And he had that game, that perfect game for him, right? And he also caught Anderson towards the end when it was starting to.
At the beginning of the end.
Yes.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I
so
do agree
the
with that.
timing and everything was right there.
But it was just, and even when you look at it, it's just a really good matchup for Sonnen.
It was a good matchup for Sonnen.
And that, you know, I mean,
I
but
like
now
Sonnen,
could
though.
Sonnen have beat the 5 guys below that?
Probably not.
No, there's no
Probably
way. So, you know,
Yeah.
is it about matchups or is it about rankings or like what is this that we're dealing with? And they may not know.
I think it's just something to sell.
Yeah.
Is all it is. It helps sell the product. They're packaging it, making it even nicer looking.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Because I remember when they started using the rankings, I was like, "What? This is weird."
Did the rankings start when the sell negotiation started?
I can't remember when the rankings started, but they're pretty recent. They're
That's
not.
what-
I mean, you know, within the last few years.
Yeah.
Because forever they didn't have it. It was the next guy up. Well, this guy's got the most wins coming up, and he's hot.
He's on a streak.
Let's put him. Let's let him fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of like that better.
I do.
Because it gave a little flexibility too, as far as, well, this guy's got a couple more wins coming up, but this guy's knocking people out.
Yeah.
He's got a couple less wins, but he's hot. So let's throw him in there. Let's see what happens. Because
You
that's what
do.
people want to see. You want to see the
Yeah.
fights that you want to see, not necessarily 1 and 2. It may be 1 and 5.
Exactly. You get a guy on he's on a 3-fight streak, burning people. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, give him Give him a top guy.
Yes.
Then he burns that top guy. Fuck, put him in there. I
Yeah.
don't give a shit. He's 25 ranked.
Yes.
He's
I
got
agree.
it, you know, yeah.
I'm not crazy about the rankings.
Yeah,
but I
drives
think
me
it's just
crazy.
a selling point.
Yeah.
For the UFC. Think, hey, whatever. People like numbers. People like to see things in an order. People like to see who's number 1, who's number 10.
Yeah.
And assign value to that.
And if you're widening your base, your viewer base, you're going to draw more viewers.
And in a way, it'll help. It helps viewers who aren't as knowledgeable to be, okay, this guy's number 10.
Yeah.
So that means he must be the 10th best fighter. Versus someone who watches on a regular basis and goes, well, I think this fight. They're not going to look at the numbers. They're going to look at matchups. Yeah. This guy's style. I've seen him. This wrestler is going to give the striker a really hard time because the striker has never really faced wrestlers. Even though a striker may be, say, Conor McGregor, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I mean. That's what more experienced people look at it, and so I think they'll disregard the rankings a little bit, other than to know who's coming up.
Yeah.
As far as to fight for championships or whatever, but I'm not that crazy about the rankings, but I guess it kind of works out anyway, sort of.
It's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, don't get me wrong.
No,
I'm just not super happy with it.
Yeah, I'm not either.
It is okay. Main event, man.
Gosh, I'm so excited.
I got
goosebumps. I got goosebumps talking about all these fights right now. I got goosebumps. I feel like we're about to watch the fights right now.
I wish, dude. Yeah, like a week away almost. Man.
I know, but I feel like it's happening right now. I'm so excited.
So I'm gonna start a damn GoFundMe for all the UFC matches. So the fund, I'm gonna put them here, and then give like a 15-person limit.
Oh,
the first 15 people here get to come in free, and we're gonna have a little party.
Fuck.
But everything's got to be paid for.
Oh, I agree.
Do a little GoFundMe on that.
Fuck yeah.
And no potluck bullshit. I went like good.
GoFundMe, just put it out there.
I post about this almost before every damn pay-per-view.
You better check with the wife first.
Yeah.
Yes. You just threw that out there.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can already. If she had Instagram Live right now, she'd be.
Luckily, she's locked up with the boys at the park.
We're just inviting people over. You know what? All the shit I got to do to make the house ready for. I can imagine.
Clear it out, throw some tarp down, and bring in some party chairs, man. Just who cares at that point, man? Bless it,
Yes,
let the little 2-year-old run around with pizza smeared all over his body.
Hell yes.
Yes.
Just let kids do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
Just give them half the house.
Yeah.
Take all the sharp objects and guns away from that house and just go have fun.
Shit. But I do. So it is half serious note. I'm so fucking irritated at this $70 and $80 bullshit for pay-per-views, man.
Is it up to that high now? Because I'm buying Saturday.
HD,
I've already talked to my
I think
brother
it's 74. So I'll have to look, dude.
Yeah.
But if you stream it, I know it's 10, 15, maybe even $20 cheaper to stream it.
As long as you get a group of people, it's okay. But man, it's prohibitive to sit in your house by yourself and watch it.
And that's kind of and I'm not gonna lie. So everybody that watches knows me, dude. I don't want to be out entertaining people and just
I'm the same way.
Just,
I don't want to go to a bar either.
No.
I don't want to go to a bar. All those people, all those drunks, all the shenanigans. I'm not down for that. There's nothing like a few people you like watching a fight and just enjoying it. You know, be like, all the craziness.
That's the
best.
people that kind of know what's going on with it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But okay, main event, Stipe DC.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay, so really, neither of them have lost in any significant period of time. Okay, so you go back.
Yeah.
You got the no contest with Jones and DC.
Right.
Right.
So we'll throw that one out.
Right. You got to throw it out, and you can debate it all day long. But Jones got busted. No contest. Sorry.
He was doing well until Jones got busted. I was about to say DC actually was doing well in that fight. I thought he was actually kind of winning the fight till
he got caught.
Jones caught him.
Yeah.
Which is Jones. I mean, it's just Jones.
It's the nature of you get elite fighters, man. You got that chance to get caught. It wasn't a blind haymaker, but he got caught.
When I say DC was winning, not dominantly. I think he was winning on the cards. Yeah. He was doing a really smart fight.
Yeah.
But he wasn't putting Jones away. He wasn't making Jones uncomfortable to where he couldn't. He just was beating him in the rounds by maybe strikes, but Jones was still comfortable in catching his breath and getting his timing, getting his distance, and then that's where
Jones looked in trouble a couple of times in that fight. I'll say that. Does that make sense? And I never really felt that way before.
John Jones looked in trouble.
He looked like he looked like.
I thought he just looked a little slow, like he wasn't timing DC right. and he was getting tagged.
That's a part of the combination.
But I
of
never
trouble.
felt like DC was about to knock him out or do damage to where he could finish the fight. I never felt like that.
I feel like if DC would ever win that fight, it would have to be in a decision.
Against Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, he was
get
on the
to the
way.
decision.
He was on the way on that one.
Yeah, he was doing the chess match his way and then got caught.
Yeah, DC, and I think against Stipe he has to do the same thing. I don't think he finishes Stipe. I think he has to go 5 rounds. Which if he goes 5 rounds, I 100% believe DC wins that fight.
Yes, I'm with you on that one. Yeah.
Now Stipe would have to stop Jones. Yeah. I'm sorry. I mean Stipe would have to stop DC. I don't think he beats him in 5 rounds. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm not like
Stipe doesn't fight in a fashion that gathers points.
Yes.
Does that make sense? What
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
Like
100%.
he doesn't necessarily fight to win rounds, and DC knows that game really well.
Yes.
And so he can fight in a way to win a round. And if you go 5, you go decision. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if it was 4-1 in rounds for DC.
Oh, yeah. I could see that for sure.
DC could be beat up and smacked and all this other kind of stuff and still win 4-1 effectively. I just,
But Stipe, the thing about Stipe too, though, is I've underestimated that guy his whole career. I've expected him to lose multiple times.
And so, I got all the things, right?
Yeah.
So you go and you got the Ngannou 5-round decision, right? And then his last 4 fights were all finished in the first round.
Yeah.
Dos Santos, Overeem, Werdum, Arlovsky.
Yeah.
All of them, first round. About a minute and a half
Yeah.
to 2 minutes in the first round. I'm like, well, crap. And you go Mark Hunt, but this was in May of 2015. He knocked him out, but in the 5th round.
Right. That's a big deal. That's impressive.
And I'm like, and you jump over to DC and you're like, okay, there's TKO, right? Submission, decision, submission.
Yeah, that sounds like DC.
And I'm like,
He doesn't knock people out.
going up a weight class.
Yeah. Oh, he's not going to knock out Stipe.
No.
I mean,
no way.
I say that, but I mean, TKO maybe you catch him a little bit funny, get on top of him, start pounding his face.
Yeah.
That could happen. A clean knockout? No, I don't see that. I've never thought of DC as the guy that.
No.
He doesn't work like that. That's not his game.
Yeah, it's not. No, he doesn't have the super heavy hands, and
Yeah, he's not a. He's a competent striker.
Yeah.
Right. He's become a competent striker.
Yeah.
But his game is still the wrestling, the throws, the physical domination. That's still his game. So.
And I think Stipe is gonna, definitely in the first few rounds, gonna do what Jones did, is sit at distance and.
I would not be shocked if Stipe wins this fight. I will not be shocked at all. He is. I've underestimated him too much.
Yeah.
And I will not be shocked.
Yeah, I think. So this is a wild card for me in this fight. DC's intentionally coming in heavier. He didn't drop the weight. He didn't go through those things he normally does. So his pattern for a fight is totally blitzed.
But do we know how much? Well, we haven't seen weigh-ins yet. So we don't know. Like maybe he's sticking to the same routine. He's just not worried about the cut part.
Right. But in that cut part, you wind up building some conditioning. You wind up increasing your cardio and I hate that term, but you know what I'm saying? Your conditioning is typically you increase that. So you wind up doing a little better. And if you take somebody who's normally fighting, just for math purposes, at 200 pounds, and you make them fight at 225 because they didn't cut, that's a very different deal on your lungs.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And so it depends how he's been training. And what I like is you'll be able to relate to this is the last 2 bigger names Rogan had on for his MMA deals. Well, and then GSP was that an MMA show or a regular show for him?
I don't remember.
Either way.
But I remember listening to it.
Listening a lot to GSP and how he's prepping for fights and how he's approaching these things in more of a modern way. I'm relating that to DC in this. Because these systems in place and the technical aspect of it has changed. So this is a first time for him.
The way I look at DC is he's such a professional. Like he's been doing this wrestling his whole life. He's an Olympic level wrestler. Those guys, in my opinion, are their professionalism when it comes to fighting and their discipline is on another level from everybody else.
Yes, it is.
And so his ability to adapt to a different weight class, I don't see it being an issue for him personally. I don't see him I don't see his preparation being affected.
Yeah. And where you could be absolutely right, and where I'm again, this is a wild card for me.
Right.
I don't know mathematically how much he drops in water to make light heavyweight.
Yeah, that's a good question.
So if you take,
It depends on how much the towel, if you push down on it, how much percentage that takes off.
Shit.
Scientifically speaking.
You know, so if he's basically just eliminating the last 48 hours of dropping water, 72 hours, if that's the only thing you're changing, he's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
He'll be better than what he would normally, because you're not having to force a rehydration.
Yeah.
You're not forcing a refeed. You're not forcing because you don't have to.
Well, it's interesting to see like what changed in your pre-fight routine or your leading up to the fight routine. How much that affects your mindset? I guess that would be mindset, maybe more than cardio and stuff. I guess, but I don't know. But, I have a lot of confidence in DC. I think he's the ultimate professional. I've liked DC from day one. He's been my kind of.
That's me too. I want DC to win. I just don't.
I don't have it preferred. I like both these guys a lot. I like Steve.
Yeah, you were saying that last week. Yeah,
because of he's that blue collar guy. Yeah. Even though he's a firefighter, I'll pass on that part.
You're not gonna poke on that.
He's a hose dragger. I'll let that go. Yeah. But no, I like that blue collar kind of guy. I like those kinds of like. He's like the guy you see in the Chevy Silverado, Ford F-150 commercial, throwing up a big old thing of hay into the back of the truck, or dumping his tools in at the end of a hard day. He's got the hard hat on, and he's throwing it in the front seat of his truck while he gets in with his muddy Wranglers and ropers, and going home to see the wife before going to the bar to have a beer with the guys. I love that about Stipe.
Yeah.
But I love about DC, he's that wrestler, American, been an Olympian, professional, good guy. Mm-hmm. I love that about him too. So watching this fight, for me, I'll be happy with whoever wins. I won't be disappointed either way.
And I'm with you on that. Yeah.
So I don't know.
I would like. Let me back. I would like DC to win a little bit more.
Okay, that makes sense. I just can't pick one that I like more.
Yeah,
I like them both. I like them both.
Yeah.
I like them both.
And a little bit of.
I'd hate to see Stipe lose the title a little bit.
Just
because DC doesn't have anything on the line.
Right.
It bugs me a little bit.
That's kind of where I am, because for the good of the sport, I would like DC to win, because that would give a boost. It'd increase some nostalgia. Cool. It would be kind of cool. You create something that. You do all these weird intangible things if he wins. But you look at the exact same thing. Stipe loses. What does that do to the heavyweight division?
I don't know.
Is DC going to stay there?
So that's the question. Are you allowed to maintain 2 titles? Because then they force Conor McGregor to have to give up one before he just gave up both of them, basically. But
I have to look at the rules. You'd have to fight in each of them.
How hard would that be?
Oh, man, going
to go back and forth?
Yeah, dude, no way.
To take the best guy in each division, every other fight?
No way.
I mean,
I would think that he would vacate. If he likes the heavyweight and that works out, he would vacate the light heavyweight and then stay in. And
it would open up light heavyweight up.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting.
And I could see the UFC wanting that.
I know. I could see Alexander Gustafsson winning that.
Yeah, I know, man. Yeah.
You'd be like, my time.
He's got a chance now. Right when Jones comes back. Oh, crap.
Yeah, he would get it about the time. Actually, that would be for the interim.
Yeah,
you guys are fighting for the interim. He'd be like,
yeah.
All right, here we go.
And that's kind of, so I'm just kind of like, well, crap. But then it's just DC's. I just think he's good for publicity. He's good for all those things.
He's good for the UFC.
And
he's good for the UFC.
Stipe is a good guy, but he just doesn't carry that same kind of charisma. Well,
Nobody knows him.
What he puts out there, you know what I mean?
But to your point, so DC's good for the UFC. He's well known. Yeah. Like, people know who DC is as far as in the fight game, even loosely.
Yeah.
They understand who he is, and he's the light heavyweight champion. They know he's lost to John Jones. They know these things about him. They know. They see him on TV all the time.
Yeah.
No one knows. Stipe can walk down the street. Almost nobody's going to know who he is.
I would feel good to say if you put him in the middle of Houston,
nobody's going to know who he is.
He's not going to be interrupted.
No, he's not. One or two guys might out it. That guy looks familiar.
Yeah.
Maybe I know him someplace.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those.
Yeah. But nobody knows who Stipe is, which I think it speaks a little bit to Stipe's character.
Yeah.
He's just a good dude. likes fighting, gets out there, fights hard.
He does. He
but
gets
he's
down
not
to
out there.
business.
He's not out there selling himself and making stupid noise. He's just a good guy. He still does his firefighter job.
Yeah.
On the side part. I mean, he's like a volunteer.
Yeah.
He's on the volunteer status, but I just like that dude, man. Even if he loses, I hope he doesn't go anywhere. I hope he sticks around and keeps fighting.
I think he
we
will.
keep seeing him.
He absolutely has 3 to 5 more high quality fights.
I sure hope so. I think I like him. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
I cheer for him.
So my prediction.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. I'm going to say DC gets knocked out in the 3rd round.
Whoa, you calling DC knockout?
I was wanting to say late 2nd. I'm teetering on late 2nd or first half of the 3rd round that he's knocked out.
Knockout. Like TKO, you think probably like TKO, or you think like a clean.
Well, MMA is so weird to say that,
I
right?
know.
A clean. So yes, he's going to get basically knocked the fuck out.
Okay.
But once you get knocked out, sometimes you run over and then they're like, oh, and they wave, so it's classified as a TKO.
Yeah,
but
I see what you're saying. So a clean.
Yeah.
Not one of those where I'm kind of defending, but not really. You're talking like bam.
He's gonna
out, and even if he's moving a little bit, he comes in a couple
over.
shots
Yeah.
to clean up.
Well, you get the shot. They fall on the mat, and when they fall on the mat, it's over.
Yeah, but they get a couple cleanup shots in, and then the ref.
That's so.
Comes in 5 minutes later. I think he's still breathing. Let's call it.
So that's mine, and that comes from watching the last few fights of his, and even in the Ngannou fight and all those things. He's just my deal. Part of it is that. Okay.
Yes.
The first part is that. The second part is I don't feel confident to say that DC feels comfortable being hit that hard with that much weight behind it right now. I think he would need 1 or 2 fights in the heavyweights to get adapted to that.
Right.
So I think it's just a matter of it's something new. It's a different kind of negative stimulus to DC. So those two things.
That's actually a really good point.
That's my guess.
Although he trains with, he trains with some animals though.
He does, but that's that's different.
Yeah,
man.
but they go pretty hard with each other. I disagree with you again.
Yeah.
So we got 2 fights where we disagree.
See?
This is awesome. I say DC goes 5 rounds and beats him in 5 through a decision. Through a clean decision. He's going to go 5 rounds.
Yeah.
We got a 5-round war, and then at the end, DC is going to get the decision. That's my.
Do you think unanimous or?
Yeah, I think it'd be like who knows? But
I'll say with you, if it goes to a decision, I think it's gonna be unanimous.
I think DC is so crafty and it's just been fighting and grinding so long, and he's that elite level guy.
Yeah.
I don't think Stipe's fought someone like DC.
True.
I don't think he's fought someone with his ability to be, hey girl, what you doing? I don't think he's fought with his ability to get in, throw you around, to control you, to that clinch, those throws, man. He's going to toss him. He's going to get underneath him. He's going to go high crotch.
I mean, I would think
it's going to happen.
I'm like, maybe Dos Santos would be that direction.
I don't know. He's not at that level.
No, he's not.
That level.
Yeah.
DC legitimately is one of the top fighters of all time.
Yeah.
In the UFC. It's hard to say that because you think about how long the UFC's been around, which is not really that long. But to me, DC still seems like kind of a newcomer, but he's not. He's been around a long time now. And he's legitimately one of the top fighters in the UFC of all time.
He has, like we said before, he's clean house in light heavyweight.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. But
there's
only one.
Only the
John
Jones.
The biggest one.
Yeah.
Biggest fish.
And you're like, oh, and I really don't know how to classify that because their real fight that counted went to a split decision.
Yeah.
That's hard.
He's still John Jones is the GOAT until he's beaten.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Even with DC, it's got that. It literally has an asterisk next to it.
Yep. And that kind of sucks for him, but
it does. It's the way it is. You're always number 2.
Yeah. And for me, it sucks because Jones got busted on drugs. He got busted.
He got busted on so much shit.
He got busted. I'm like,
he got busted being a knucklehead.
And that's the big thing is what he got busted for. But I'm kind of like, oh, I hate that there's an asterisk next to DC's name.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be.
Well, but there is. He's had opportunities to beat John Jones.
Yeah.
And he didn't finish the deal.
Yeah.
Got close, but didn't finish the deal. And so It is what it is.
Even this is a question. I don't know this in the rules. If DC won that last fight against Jones and Jones tested positive, does that still become a non-contest?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
I don't know that.
I would hope that would not. I would hope that would not nullify his win because you competed clean and won your fight.
Yeah.
So that should. I would think that would not nullify it. But I think the fact that he won the fight
And got busted.
should no contest it. So that would not be fair to penalize the other fighter who fought clean.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
I don't know if that's the case.
I don't know either.
But it, common sense speaking would say no.
Yeah.
He would still have that as a victory, and then it would just be a black mark on Jones.
Yeah.
For testing positive.
Yeah. So I was like, what are you? I'm not sure on that one. I'm gonna research that one tonight.
Sometimes stuff's screwed up, and there could be some weird thing where it's just automatic no contest.
Since it's a head-to-head and all that other kind of business. Yeah, I don't know that, man.
Anyway.
So it'll be fun.
I'm excited.
Shit.
Saturday can't get here quick enough. I haven't been this excited for a UFC fight in a long time. It's been I can't even remember. It's been a while.
For me too.
Since Jones and DC fought.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
That was the last one I was super excited for.
I want to say that was probably my last one as well. That I was, especially the whole car. I mean, yeah. I don't know what I did. I printed off the thing with the entire deal.
And the good thing is, I'm not on
lost it.
call that weekend, so I can actually have a few adult beverages. And I'm. Whew.
See, look at your all.
I'm already planning my Saturday.
I'm like, oh man. Hey, are you going to compete in jiu-jitsu?
Yes, I have Worlds coming up in August 22nd, I think. 23rd. It's 22nd through 25th. I think I compete on the Saturday.
Oh damn. Okay.
So.
Pretty quick.
The 14th, I get promoted to black belt. That's already been announced. So I get promoted to black belt. I've already registered, but I'm registered as a brown belt. So I'll have to
Okay.
Well, my coach has to go in and submit my thing and my paperwork, and I have to actually redo some stuff so I can compete at black belt.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm competing. I think it's the end of August. It's Worlds in Vegas.
In Vegas. Okay.
And it's going to be first black belt competitions Worlds. Yeah. I was there's one in Austin.
First one,
there's one in Austin at the end of the month.
Don't.
Well, it's too late.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was thinking about doing it to get that first black belt out of the way there, but
nope.
I just decided not to.
Even if it was, I'd be like, don't.
Yeah,
It's not worth.
Well, what happened to me when I made brown belt my first time? My coach promoted me to brown belt like a week before I competed in Austin.
Yeah.
And I was so ready to destroy purple belt, and I would train pretty hard. So then I compete in Austin and as a brown belt within a week, and I was like, shit. But I'd been training hard. So the guy I competed against he's a Rafael Lovato Jr. guy, or Rafael Lovato Jr. guy, and he's up in north of Dallas. No, he may be in Oklahoma too. I can't remember, but. Anyway, we competed, and I didn't know who he was except for his patch. I was like, great. And it was really good. We had a great fight. He beat me. And I was like, okay, he's okay. My first brown belt. Worlds is next. Keep training hard. Well, guess who's the first fight at Worlds?
No, you're kidding.
Same guy. And he finished. He won Austin. He won that division. Actually, I think I would have won that division if I'd beat him. But he ended up. He ran a hell of a first round again, and I figured out a couple things that I had actually worked on that I had learned on our first fight.
Yeah, and
they were working, but I didn't commit to the technique I was doing, and so what ended up is I think I lost 2-1, or 2 something like that, 2-0 with an advantage. It wasn't 2-1. It's 2-0 with an advantage or something like that. I lost on the scramble. And then I had a takedown, but I didn't finish it, so I got an advantage on that, and so that's how I lost. It's a horrible way to lose. Yeah, I mean it is a hard fight. Whatever, it was close. And anyway, he finished his third in Worlds, and which means he was just one win away from finals.
Yeah,
I think it's his black belt right then from Rafael Lovato Jr. And I was like, all right, it's no big deal, not gonna kill me. So here we are 3 years later, and
so if he's first on the card,
my first guy on this card.
File a complaint. At that point,
I'm like, this is bullshit. No, but he's a really cool guy. He's a nice guy. We've talked since then. But my luck, he'll be the first one. But that's okay. I'm okay with that.
How do they determine that now in terms? Is it a draw or it's just
random draw? That's what made it so weird. It was just a random. coincidence.
Yeah.
Because it was a big division, but it's just random. It's Jason luck. That's the
exactly.
kind of luck I have. Murphy's Law. So if I fight him first again, I'd be fine. I'd rather fight him in the finals, but it's okay. I just want to fight. I want to do well. And, I'm excited. I'm very excited about the opportunity. But the thing is, a black belt, you don't know who you're going to get. Like, it can be someone that's been a black belt 20 years.
Yeah.
It's not like the other belts where there's a limit. Guys are in there, those belts 2 to 3 years at most. Yeah. Once you get the black belt, it could be at my division. It could be a guy. It could be. There's some names. It could be. I could run into some tough dudes. It could be a very quick fight.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It
could be a very quick fight.
You could get some guys on a
there's
a year and a half
you
lapse
look at
of
some
the
of these
UFC
44-year-old black belts. They've been around a while, and there's some of them that are very big names, and they compete at Masters. They all compete at Masters. So.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And I'll be okay with that. I don't mind. I'll fight anybody. I just want to put it out there and fight hard, and who knows what happens.
Sometimes though, and this comes from my own competitives. I would like to fight somebody that either I don't smash or don't get smashed. Yes. I want a competitive fight.
Yeah,
that's how you learn. Best. You learn that way.
The worst fights I've had, and because I've never been this way, is I like to just go for shit. Yeah. I want to, and when you're fighting, you can't just flat out go for stuff. Yeah. You need to stay within your abilities, but I want there to be constant attempting to finish fights.
Yes.
So the other guys are constantly trying to attempt to finish me, which exposes him to getting swept, and vice versa. If I'm constantly trying to finish a fight, it exposes me to getting swept or giving the guy, So a lot of guys don't want to do that. They're like, I get into a dominant position or close to it, I'm just going to hold. Yeah. I'll take that advantage, and you're just going to fight your way out of this, and that's what a lot of guys do, and I hate those fights.
So take that, because this is one that I get in debates with people all the time. I want like that basketball 5 count.
They should. I think they should.
Like you can't you gotta work. Don't give me this crap. You move your leg and your arm and you expect them to start to recount, right? Like literally, you gotta. You know how basketball. Yes. You see the refs; they count their 5 when somebody's got the ball and they picked up the ball. And it's not a hard 5 seconds. It might be a little quicker, it might be a little slower, but you get that 5 count.
There's judgment.
Right. So it's a 5 count. Get up, reposition, start over. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, that's my deal. And I'm saying that even at the UFC level.
I agree.
Like no, you don't get to rest.
I agree. I'll say I disagree at the UFC level. And the reason I say that is I think if someone can pin you down and you can't get up at the UFC level, like that's a fight. Like that's more of a fight. Well, I think when we bring it down to sport level of jiu-jitsu, we're not looking for someone to stall. Right. And that's because jiu-jitsu is a little different than a regular fight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I would agree with to prevent people from stalling out. Now it's tricky because with jiu-jitsu, you may, depending on the position and situation, you're moving inches at a time sometimes.
But the refs know that.
They should.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, not all refs are fantastic. I've had some bad decisions, and I've had a couple decisions go against me that I was very upset about, and I knew I was not in the wrong, or I knew that he made a bad decision. Yeah. So refs they're not always the best. Normally they are with IBJJF. They're pretty professional, but those are the guys I've had a couple bad decisions with, and there could be a lot of reasons for it, but you don't know. But I do agree that maybe there could be something to prevent stalling. Now, what's become pretty popular is the submission-only tournaments. Yeah. Because position is much less important. You're not getting points through position. Right. You're not getting
There's
points
no advantages,
you're not getting points for a guard pass. Right. It's about who's putting themselves in a position to finish the fight. Yeah. So that can be anywhere, and that's what makes it super exciting. So you're not really safe, and you gain nothing by stalling. Like you gain nothing other than maybe preventing yourself from being submitted. But then that's just, there's nothing really won there. Like that doesn't excite anybody. No, and you're not going to be asked to come back if that's what your game is. Yeah. So
maybe that's the key, is it slowly have this transition to submission only.
Well, I think what they do is we have both.
Yeah.
So you have your submission only tournaments, and you have your more traditional scoring tournaments, and I think they're both good, because I think with submission only, the problem you can have is that it becomes such a sport at that point that basic fundamental self-defense is kind of removed from the aspect of it, and people just lay on the ground trying to catch ankles and knees and toes, without the fear of the basic understanding of, hey, if someone's on top of you, they can in a real fight, typically they can strike you. So it's not necessarily the best position to be in, where with the point scoring system kind of gives you that. If you're on top, you're winning. Like if you're on top, and you stay on top throughout a fight and say scores even, you're going to probably win that fight, because they're going to say, well, you were in the more dominant position throughout the fight. So I know we're getting in the weeds with jiu-jitsu, but with the submit, so this is what I do like, and I want to do one, and I wish they would somehow make this a more common type of tournament, is combat jiu-jitsu with the Eddie Bravo, with the EBI combat jiu-jitsu rules, because I think with that does a great job of blending the submission only aspect with being a conscious of the self-defense aspect. So now you can be struck.
And
now
that's all the open hand. Is that what they do?
It's all open hand, but that Boss Rutan open hand style knock you out. So, and I think eventually you'll see someone get KO'd. It'll eventually happen. But most of but what's fun is you see how it changes people's games a little bit. They got to move. There's no resting, and when that strike's coming, it's interesting. But also throwing the strike, there's consequences to that. Because you throw in a strike, now you're not maintaining your balance as well. You're not maintaining position quite as well. When those arms come up and start moving, well, that opens things up for the other person that's not striking, if he's not worried about defending too much. I think that's as close to a perfect display of jiu-jitsu as you can put in a competitive setting. I love combat jiu-jitsu. I love it so much.
And I'll be honest, I've only watched probably 8 to 10 matches.
Well, that's a good sample size. And there hasn't been that many.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to find.
But man, I think combat jiu-jitsu is a great blend of. I think we need all three. We need the traditional, we need the submission only, and we need that combat jiu-jitsu, because it's 3 different styles of jiu-jitsu, and it really it shows. I think it also shows the limitlessness and the applicability of jiu-jitsu in multiple different situations, and how it's effective, even all the way up to full MMA. You see how effective jiu-jitsu still is in a full-on fight against a skilled opponent.
And that's what I mean. I agree with you, and I think we need all 3. I agree with that. I just, to use your word, is that stalling it, and
it's a part
trying
of
to get break.
It's
and
a
I'm
part
like,
of it.
To some degree, like to me, in a jiu-jitsu match, in that regard, in the point, so non-submission only, a good 1 or 2 deep breaths when you get a position, I'm cool with. It's 5-6 seconds. It's perfect. It's 5 count. You got it, and then you keep moving. You keep advancing. You keep working. You keep doing your stuff. So to get the 1 or 2 deep breaths because you're in a dominant position, you gain the dominant position, you deserve a deep breath or 2. Cool. But when it turns into 15 seconds, 20 seconds, I'm going to get out.
I agree.
And that's kind of mine. I don't know the fix. That's why I'm like, I just throw out that NBA 5 count.
I agree, and I think it's a good. Well, a disclaimer: I have done it. I have been in a dominant position, up on points, and thought, I'm going to sit here.
You're
for
playing
a while.
within the rules.
I am.
You can't fault yourself for it.
So to be fair, as much as I don't like it, because it's been used against me several times, when I've been in that position, there's been a couple times where I've been like, I got another fight after this.
And you should. Because that's the rule.
I know that other guy's a tough dude.
Yeah, that's absolutely not hypocritical. Don't blazing trails and hurt yourself.
I do prefer the submission. You know who had a big issue with it? Kron Gracie. When he was when he first, as a black belt, I think he lost his very first black belt match, as a matter of fact. And I can't remember who he lost to. I think it was like a guy that was not, particularly notably. He's good. Obviously he's good if he's a black belt competing at adult level, but he was just no one spectacular. And I think Kron decided he's not doing any more points-based tournaments. He's like,
I knew, but I didn't know why.
Well, he got frustrated. He had several losses in points-based tournaments through IBJJF and stuff like that. You can go find his fights, great fights, because he's phenomenal grappler. But his style of grappling is just going for finishes. And then what happens is he goes against these guys who are point-based guys who are very high level too, and going for those finishes constantly is what he trains for. He doesn't train for just positional dominance and holding a position. He gets caught. He starts getting caught. Everyone's not losing, having not as much success as he really had hoped for.
Yeah.
As you would expect as the son of Hickson Gracie. He just, I'm done with that. So now it was submission only, and you saw how successful he was in submission only.
I mean, that's,
And then, because that played right into what he does. And then now in MMA, he's very successful. And I can't remember I remember watching his last fight. It didn't take him long. And he's fun to watch. He's still got a little ways to go to get to UFC, but he's fighting with the Diaz brothers and all those guys. Yeah. He's got the right crew to get him to the UFC, and I think once he gets there, they haven't seen somebody with a squeeze like that.
Ooh. And that's so. This is me. Is you get into functional and all that kind of. So point. I've never been a fan of point fighting at any level of my martial arts.
I don't know anybody who really is.
Weaker guys.
Yeah.
Smaller, not smaller in the sense of just smaller, but like smaller, more frail guys who can't do the finishes, who can't be competitive, have no power, who have on this. I mean, speed and taps doesn't do shit. To click points. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's just, and I know jiu-jitsu's different, but similar fashion.
But I understand what you're saying,
yeah. And that's and so I've never been a fan of point fighting. It's just a matter of it's not functional. It doesn't fit. It's silly. Is that,
I agree with you.
And
100%.
even points in Olympic boxing drive me up the fucking wall. I get so mad watching those matches, and
they've watered it down so much.
Yeah.
The Olympics waters down every combat sport.
Yeah.
Even with judo, and although it's still fun to watch, but they just water everything down to. The only thing maybe not is wrestling, but then they took wrestling out.
Yeah.
And I think, are they bringing it back? I sure as hell hope so.
I want to say I saw that they were.
How could you take wrestling out of the Olympics?
That's like anytime I think of Olympics,
it's wrestling.
Literally, I think running and wrestling.
What are the two things that you see Greek carvings of? Running and wrestling, right? And the disc throw or something. There's a couple of but it's a basic. Those are the foundations of the Olympics. And there's nothing more like wrestling, like one man's physical force against another man's physical force, or woman, both.
Yeah.
And how could you take that out for water dancing or whatever they call it?
Oh shit! Like some ballroom dancing, and it's but you don't have wrestling. Right? Well, hello, what? Man. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I'm still.
Trying to make it, I watch Olympic bullshit. So back in the day, like in the first couple of Olympics, I don't know when it stopped, but when they did long jump and triple jump, they held stones.
Huh. Like, how big were the stones?
One in each hand.
So big enough to hold in each hand.
One in each hand, so you can move. So it's similar format, it's similar technique as what they do today, except at the very end, as you're getting your last step to launch, the stones are back, and you use the stones to give yourself a further
distance. That is really
distance.
Interesting.
And I remember watching that stuff, and then they're showing different depictions and how they chronicle the reality of that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's pretty fucking cool.
Well, if we have a tendency to look to I think over glorify ourselves.
Yeah, of course.
In what we're doing today.
Yes, of course.
We think we're the greatest, most amazing versions of ourselves that ever existed.
Right.
And I think the truth is, if you go back, let's look at MMA. We've been talking about MMA. They've been doing this shit for thousands of years. They've been doing submissions and like old school, like true Greek pancratia. They were absolutely fighting each other with takedowns, throws, chokes, arm bars, leg locks. They were doing everything back then. It was different. I'm sure we don't really know exactly.
Well, I want to say it was 1,200 years ago. They have it's chronicled or cataloged with the Japanese doing that.
Right.
I think it was 1,200.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was
maybe 1,400 years ago. But yeah, I mean,
they actually. Yeah. Well, no, I think it's a little older. I think what I read was that the Greek form of fight. You talk about Sparta and all that. That's where they really were developing these fighting forms, where the wrestling and the throws, choking, the joint locks were part of their martial training. Like because they were coming up as children, like toddlers, learning how to fight, and they had developed all these things. I mean, we're not fucking geniuses here. We've been same brain, same animals. We're coming up with the same shit 2,000 years ago. So they were developing these styles of fighting, and my understanding was that actually kind of spread into the Far East. So actually, the form of fighting, like say mixed martial arts or the Greek form of fighting, actually predated Far East martial arts.
Well, 'cause I was thinking, I could be wrong with this because again, on the spot, my chronology gets screwed up sometimes with history, but I want to say it was when the early Mongols were having contact with the Greeks. They picked that up, and it worked its way back to Japan and South China.
I could see that. I do know. I believe what I've read is that it actually spread from Greece.
Yeah.
And that what happened was, as martial arts spread into the Far East, they started morphing it into their own versions of martial arts. It's where you saw the different films like Taekwondo or whatever else, judo, Japanese jiu-jitsu, the sumo, the samurai.
Yeah.
Basically what samurais developed at the jiu-jitsu and judo and so on. All those traditional.
Well, they made it. What the Far East in quotation does so often is they make it into an art.
Yes.
It becomes more beautiful and such once it hits there.
So maybe what we've seen is it come back full circle after these 1,500 years or whatever it is, come back full circle from when we got broken up.
Yeah.
And now it's gotten back together. Because all the same forms of fighting existed. Wrestling, boxing, like they boxed back then. Wrestling, boxing, all these things, they all existed. They just all got separated out from each other.
Yeah.
And then this last 50 years, I guess, maybe,
it's worked its way back.
So, to go back to Bruce Lee, a little before that, there, you go to jiu-jitsu in the 1920s.
Yeah.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, 20.
You started seeing, they were doing Vale Tudo, which was no holds barred. So you started seeing that happening again. And I think now we've come to full circle to where it's maybe similar to what it was maybe when it started or how it developed.
Just minus weapons.
Yeah, but then, have you ever seen those videos where they actually have like the
That's why I said
gladiator
that.
fights with the weapons?
Yeah.
And they're doing everything like in a ring and stuff.
Kind of cool.
Man,
and they're not, and they're the wooden, and I mean they're not.
Yeah, I don't think they can actually impale each other, but still, though, it's weird. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. If you ever watch, I was looking at, you see, so you ever see guys do like those old Civil War reenactments?
Yes.
So they do the same thing with like samurais. I think in Japan, they probably do it here too, where they actually have battle reenactments of samurai of what's the feudal Japanese armies fighting each other, which is with the samurais, and they show them engaging, hip tossing, boom, finishing blow. Like so, their hip toss would finish with a sword in your neck, right? Versus us trying to just armbar you or take your back. No, they finished it with a killing blow, and they showed all that stuff, and I was like, I got a little bit of a heart on because I was like, oh my god, they're doing it with all their gear and it's amazing.
They use the traditional forms and techniques of then. It's not modernized. I don't want people to think that. I mean,
but there's gonna be similarities. Like a hip toss is a hip toss. So I bet you that I'm pretty sure it's probably pretty similar. There's only so many ways to do a hip toss, right? You still gotta load them up and throw them.
But even how they striked and how their swordplay was, and all of that is insanely true, which is cool.
Very cool.
I like Civil War enactments, but I mean,
I'm not into that. But the
guys
Japanese
different
stuff
shooting
is
that's
cool because they're like physically engaging and doing the martial arts stuff. And so it's actually super interesting. So, Olympics. Get your shit back together, man. Get back to your base.
Like, is this serious? Because I know we live in a PC world now. Why do we need water dancing and ballroom dancing and all this shit in the Olympics?
I have no idea.
It's not. It's athletic in the sense that some of them are exhausting. It requires some level of cardiovascular input and conditioning, whatever, right? We're getting hollered at. But it's not sport, right?
No, it's not sport. And nobody wants to watch it.
Right, and I'm like,
nobody wants to watch it.
You want all your dancing and elegance? You got the Winter Olympics.
That's
figure skate and all that kind of stuff. You have gymnastics. Okay,
that's as close as they need to get to dancing.
That's what I'm saying.
I give gymnastics up because that's
hard as shit.
Still. There's ancients. I think that's some old forms of stuff in there too, and it's.
Well, still, I don't care if you run across a thing and you go doink and you spin around 3 times in the air and you land perfectly on your feet,
or doing the pommel horse. That's some crazy shit. Or
you win.
Freaking beam. These girls be jumping on that beam.
That's my favorite is when they show the camera and they're like Zoop, and you're like, oh, there's the little baby beam.
And they're doing flips and landing perfectly without.
And they get upset if they wiggle. I'm like, shit, I'd be happy if I could just hang out up there.
And they're like, it's minus 3 points.
You're like, oh,
what?
Get
you know what's funny though? How you become an expert watching.
Yeah.
Suddenly you watch like 30 minutes of women's Olympics, and oh no, you got to take off for that.
Yeah,
take off two. That's minus 2. That's minus 2. She won. She won. Watch. She won. We all become fucking experts.
I know it is. Damn, it's
right.
fun though.
Or see, they didn't stick that landing. That's not a 9.7.
It's a hop. Yeah.
That's not a 9.7.
We know all of that.
Yeah, we're suddenly experts. Yeah. I fucking love the Olympics. The Olympics is fun when you.
Yeah. But
they
sport.
Wrestling.
But sport. Motherfucking sport.
Yeah.
And see,
PC
I want
world,
them
to. PC world.
This is me. Is I want them to even take like the World Cup, book the World Cup, put it in the Olympics.
No.
Make it national
they
team.
have Olympics. They have soccer.
Yeah, I know, but it's watered down. It's not.
It's just World Cup is. That's like if you had football in the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
We would still like to watch it, but it's not the Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. Is fuck it. Make it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Put it in there. It's the world against the world, man. So
it's still world against the world, but like it's not the same. Like it's not World Cup. World Cup is still, it's more exclusive.
Yeah.
Is it more exclusive? I think it is more exclusive. I think you still have to win your way in. And
you got to qualify
to the Olympics, but I don't think it's as difficult.
No.
But
There's a lot more opportunity.
I have to be honest. I'm speaking with ignorance on that because I'm not sure. Because I know the World Cup is the world. Look, World Cup is awesome. I lived in Germany, and I think it was '88 when they won. Was it '88 or '90? '90. Maybe it was 1990. I'm getting my years. Back. I'm getting my years off. I think it was 1990 when Germany won the World Cup. Bro,
they don't play, man.
Man, it was. I was watching the game at my friend's house, and you want to talk about. This is the thing about Europe that's actually really cool. Is the village people typically live in small towns, right? But they don't look like a small town here.
Right.
The houses are close together. People don't have huge yards. They have very, very small yards. Everybody's close together. The streets are small. Everybody you see everybody who you know.
Old school San Francisco neighborhoods.
I guess I've never been to San Francisco, but I'll go with you on that. It's very home. It's a very nice. It's a little old environment. Like it probably looks the same as it did in 1500.
Oh yeah.
Small modern changes, but a lot of the same buildings from those time frames, even older, are still up and being
roads.
used.
That's really it.
Yeah. So when they won, I remember everybody went outside, was drinking beer, was celebrating Germany winning the World Cup, and what an amazing national experience it was. And I loved it. That's a really unique experience. We don't really get that here.
No.
I've never.
Part of it is our landmass is too big.
Yeah.
So I mean,
America.
Yeah, it's huge as shit.
Yeah.
But this is something that I learned through traveling and all that nonsense. Europeans primarily, just to speak about Europeans, they get behind every one of their teams and people, period. Nobody's trying to tear them down.
Yeah. Nobody's
trying to hate. Nobody's trying to do these things. If you're the number 10 national boxer, you're a hero.
Yeah.
You're a hero.
Yeah.
You don't no you don't pay here. Bring your friends. Nope. No. Like it's like I'm offended if you offer.
That's true.
Here is the second you start to approach the top, you get people hitting at you, knocking you down. No. Oh, this. Oh, so they're weak here. Oh, we're gonna bust them open here. Oh, knock them here. Oh, they did this here. And no. And don't let them up. Don't let them up. Don't let them. Keep suppressing them.
I think it is true. Maybe it is too big. There's too many. It's too competing. Everybody's got to pick a because there's going to be. I think America's so big. There's always more than one.
True.
That's close to the greatest. Yeah. So or in that conversation. So you got to pick. You got to pick one.
We'll do it this way. Take fucking LeBron James. I don't care who you are. If you love him or hate him, he's arguably one of the best players ever in the history of the NBA. Right? Love it, hate it. I'm not a big LeBron fan, but the reality is
I can't even get those words out of my mouth.
Right, but this the reality. Is he the greatest? I don't think so, but he's in the discussion. Right? He goes to LA. What's the first thing people did? List 100 reasons why they're not going to make the finals. When he went back to Cleveland.
That's funny.
What's the first thing people did? 100 reasons why he's not going to go to the finals. When he went from Cleveland to Miami. 100 reasons why he's not going to make it.
I think everybody knew he was going to make the finals when he was in.
But that's the hate. Now you put him in Europe. you're instantly going to get 100 reasons why he's going to make the final.
Yeah, you know,
it's
that's
a different
that's
mentality.
Interesting. That is interesting. I think that maybe, well, I don't want to say they got more national pride. Maybe they do. I don't know. We're in a weird,
Yeah, I
we're in a
don't
weird
know
point
if
in our country.
I think it's just a different perspective. I don't say it's a lack of national pride. I don't think that's it necessarily. I think it's just a very different perspective.
I think people. So I think people's pride. I think we do something here in America, which is our pride is almost become. Everybody's pro-American, right?
Yeah.
But you're pro-America behind your party. So you're pro-America as a Republican, or you're pro-America as a Democrat, and those mean two different things.
Yes.
To the left and to the right, not to the people here.
Yeah.
But to the people more on the edges. And I don't want to say like extreme edges. I don't think it's that far. I think people who just identify themselves as a Democrat, like I'm a Democrat. I vote Democrat. And then the guys say, I'm a Republican. I vote Republican. Their ideas of being an American and being a proud American are two different ideas. They have two different definitions.
Yeah.
But I think if you go to these other countries, the majority of the people, their national pride is in being, say, German. I'm a German. It has nothing to do with the government. It's German. We have a rich history here in Germany, and I am a German. You know what I'm saying?
So maybe
or
people don't like this.
I'm English.
Lack of diversity creates a unified
and which would make sense.
Because they're not because they don't want diversity, but just simply because it's smaller, the people are closer.
Those are different
proximity.
countries.
They're there. It's, you know, Johnny down the way's great grandmother built that house, and we've been here the whole time, so we've got 6 generations
it's
of
true. That's 100% true.
You know, like maybe that's
living in this house.
Yeah.
Living in the same house.
Here, we can't touch that.
No, we don't do anything like that. We all move from house to house in a generation, 2, 3, 4 times. You don't keep a house. It's just done. You sell it, move on.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. And our country's built completely different than any other country on the planet.
Yes.
We're built and still are built as a melting pot for all.
Yeah.
For all that want to come here legally. But we've always been built as a melting pot of multiple different nationalities and ethnicities and whatever, which has made us great.
Yeah.
But we're just built differently. We're a very unique place. We're still very young in the scheme of the world.
Dude, we're infants.
Yeah. Like these other countries that we've absorbed, they've been around for thousands of years in some form or another, from Gauls to name it. It's all been just because we call it France now or Spain now or Germany, it's always been there. The same basic people have lived in those areas for thousands of years. Yeah. You know, all the way through the world. We're just such a new freaking country.
We're still an experiment, man.
We're still an experiment. So I did going through my mom. I don't think I talked about this. Going through my mom's stuff and packing her down here, last month. I found some family history that actually brought us back to like 1720s.
Okay.
I think on my mom's side. My dad's side, both of them came in turn of the century. Okay. Or just prior to. But 1900s, not 2000s. But because it's like 2000. But anyway, I found out that like one of our and I had heard this before, but on my mother's side, her like great grandfather, I'm not sure how far back, was in the Civil War as a Confederate soldier for a Texas regiment.
Damn. Okay.
And we went back even further though. Like we went back to, coming through Galveston, and I think it was the 1730s or 40s, something like that. And moving up to Danville, Illinois at one point, which, funny coincidence, my dad, he was born in Danville, Illinois. And this is not a big town, by the way. Yeah. And then on my mom's side, her great-grandfather was born in Danville, Illinois. It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
And I know another friend of mine that was born in Danville, Illinois here, Brian.
Kid.
Not shitting you. Like,
that's
nuts, I looked it up. Man. How big is this town? It's not a big, like 30,000 people, 35,000 people.
Well, now.
So they're telling like there's probably like 500 to 1,000 people at that point. Like are we related? We don't know it. Was I know. Why? Is this why I'm so short? Does this explain my weirdness? So anyway, I guess the point is like that's nothing. That's just a couple of generations.
Yeah.
And that's old generations here in America, because most people 1 or 2 generations at best.
That doesn't touch it over there.
No, that's nothing.
It's insane, man.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I think I got to go choke people.
Yeah, you got to choke people. I got questions too. Thank you, everybody. I wonder if the Instagram thing did anything. I'll check that out.
Yeah, let's check
We'll
it
see.
out.
That'll be fun.
This
is a brainstorm. See, we're trying to try it once more.
I think it's a cool thing to do, like to start with.
Bait and hook, man.
It doesn't hurt.
No,
like,
it doesn't hurt.
We'll
It's
do it
cool.
next time.
Yeah, love it.
think
So thank you, everybody. Go LeBron, whatever.
No, but let's
no.
see. Go Brian Ortega. I don't care. I'm not cheering for the other ones. I just my picks. I hope my picks win.
Oh, you're okay. I'll post it up. We'll post it up. We'll have a little fun with it.
Yeah, that's a good
I'll
idea.
make a little meme
like
or something.
It.
It'll be good.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. We will
Peace.
see you next time. Peace.